Hello and welcome. I wanted to cover winning ideas in the middle game, and I was looking for motivation to do that, and I realized for me the first time I actually started to see improvement was when I started reading books, and one of the books I read was Chess Fundamentals, and there were positions that I saw when I read that book, which stayed with me and continue to inspire me to learn and figure out more. So the process of improving in chess is one of familiarizing yourself with different patterns, especially in the middle game. And the position I'm going to show you was one of those first positions I looked at, which made me want to know more about chess and learn. So it's black's turn to move, and if you look at this position, it's easy to see certain ideas for white. First of all, is a pawn up. So in the long run, if you're playing for an endgame, this position is a pawn up on the queen side, which is a concept on its own. We're not going to go into that. But there is a very direct threat that white has in this position, which is to take his queen to h6. And if you look at this weak square and this bishop, this is an unpleasant threat that he has. And black managed to see this idea and played rook e8. And this is a worse mistake because white then revealed one of his most sinister threats in the position, which was queen takes, and after king takes, rook check. And the combination of the bishop and the rook makes this beautiful mate, which obviously black had not seen. The reason why this is important is that it's a pattern, and this pattern will come to you in games in different ways. And if you're not familiar with it, you're not going to be able to spot it. And this is really how a player improves himself. So knowing this idea, I'm going to modify the beginning position, which we started with, and say so let's add a few more pieces to this position, which is a different position, but you will see what I mean. So we put a pawn there and remove this pawn, put a pawn here, and put a bishop on e7, and we'll put a rook there, that's fine, a queen on h3, that's fine, a rook on e3, the bishop on b2 is fine. We'll move the queen a little bit and put it on c7, and put a knight on c6. So now they've got the same number of pieces and the rook. The reason why I want to do this is I want to show you the thinking process that would be going on in someone's head, so you understand the process in which the game gets played. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go to this position. And okay, so it's easy to notice that black has got, of course, more minor pieces, and we are looking at it from this point. So unless white can win quickly, this game is lost, because obviously a piece for players of about the same strength makes a big difference. But fortunately for white, there is a series of forcing moves here. He starts by taking on c6, and here, if we know the previous position, we immediately realize that black has got no time for queen takes. If you haven't seen why, I'd recommend you pause the video, have a look at the position, and think of the first position we looked at and see if you can apply some ideas from there to see the solution to this position. And if you did, you realize that here white has got that forcing sequence with the rook check, and after this it's mate. So he doesn't have time to actually recapture on c6. And this is a very important idea because you would not be aware of this if you didn't know about the pattern. Fortunately, black has got this forcing move, bishop to g5. So knowing what we know, knight check. So in this position now, there is a slight difference. So let's say you play this check, king takes. Now if you try rook check, black has got this defensive maneuver, so you cannot do the same. So the bishop here is not just a pretty face, it actually serves a function. So now white has to find a way to continue, and he found this move check. Very interesting, because now if you just rush and play bishop takes, now queen checks works again, and we have the same mate. So we can do that, and here black is forced to actually play queen takes on e7, and now rook takes queen, of course bishop takes rook, and white manages to go in exchange up in this position after queen to d7, attacking the two bishops at the same time. So now one bishop is going to be captured and is material up, and the game is winning. But the winning concept came from understanding an earlier position which we looked at, where there was a specific pattern which he used in present time to win this game. I hope that's instructive and you can make use of such an idea.